Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the NECA Toys Alien Resurrection Xenomorph Warrior collectible figure. That's right, another episode of the Resurrection Reviews. We are continuing Alien Week with Alien Series 14, and of course we're taking a gander at the Warrior, whose mold is something you should not be surprised at because NECA has been milking it. And you can't really blame them, right? It's a pretty good mold. It's been used in the Superman vs. Aliens 2-pack, which was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. And now it's being used for the Joker Alien 2-pack with the Batman for New York Comic-Con, of which I pre-ordered successfully. And let me know if you have as well. But anywho, it's an awesome mold. It was used a lot for the first Alien vs. Predator film, with some changes in the legs to make it a little bit more accurate to Resurrection, and it's a lot of fun to handle. It's a great figure, and I bought a million of these, by the way. You'll see it later in the video, but anywho, I'm gonna shut up so we can get into the review. Alrighty, so the box is nothing too special. We do get a nice background with a bunch of constellations of stars, the Alien Resurrection logo with the classic font, and does say Xenomorph Warrior with a cool background that resembles the ship from the film. Side of the box shows some toy photography that NECA did with the figure, which was basically just the product shots when they went up for pre-order. There's another good one right there. And of course the back. So these are all the other figures you can get. The Newborn, another Warrior if you want an army build, and the Ripley. Nice image of the alien here with a diorama in the background that we'll never get, and a bio that you can pause and read if you do want to do that. Alrighty, and here is the Alien Warrior. You know, I have bought a bunch of these the last couple of weeks, in total, minus the two McFarlane ones that I had just growing up. I think I have about 7 of these. You gotta hop on these because pretty soon, give it some time and they won't be as easily accessible. So you gotta army build now. Anywho, 7 of them, right? This one is probably the only one who doesn't have any issues. Either the others just have general, you know, blah blah QC issues, you know, joints frozen, etc. But their legs. You guys have heard me rant about this in the past. These type of legs, they don't really work too well when you got all these different joints working throughout the entire leg. It makes the figure pretty unstable and it tends to bend. Unless NECA gets their head out of their ass and fire whoever's in charge of QC and actually makes tight joints. And again, this is the only figure that has tight joints. I'll show you later. Almost all of them have issues. So we need to fire that fool. Wherever he is, whatever he's doing, he needs to be put out of work. Make him go work for Mattel because they've been screwing DC over. But anywho, let's take a closer look. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, you know NECA when it comes to making alien figures. They're pretty much always on point, minus those goddamn stupid QC issues. Just look at this thing though. It is really well done. If you ever owned any of the AVP aliens, it should look pretty familiar because it's pretty much the same. Obviously the color is different, but the details and everything like that, it's all the same, the mold, everything. I do have the inner mouth poking out at the moment. With these figures, I don't know, getting the inner mouth out is kind of difficult. You have to use like a pair of tweezers just because they're really stuck in there. So I just wanted to show you it right now so then I can pop it back in. But it is really nice. They painted it like a very, very light beige. Let's try and get some better lighting in there with basically some black shading, and if I'm not mistaken the teeth are silver, kind of like the ones over here. So it's well done. It's an inner mouth. We've seen it a bajillion of times, so I'm gonna pop them back in there. Man, it's giving me some resistance. There we go. Alright. Whew. Let's take a look at the dome. It is really, really cool. Check that out. That is super neat. You can see the skull inside, all of those ridges, everything, the spine of the head, if you will. It is very, very well done. Those little dots are kind of creepy too. It's like a pattern. It's interesting. And the dome, it is transparent at the top, and then it kind of slowly transitions into this opaque design. Same with the back of the head, and hello, you can see me in there. It's quite reflective as well. Obviously, he has a ton of neck detail. This is just ridiculous. I don't even know if I can describe half this stuff. Just a bunch of coils and tubes and ridges and things that look like sea creatures and sewage. You know, the whole spiel when it comes to aliens. The Geiger design is quite odd, but it looks really good. I like the paint, black shading, general brown color that matches the rest of the figure. The mouth is pretty good looking too, sculpted quite well, and it's actually not crooked on mine. This really is kind of the most perfect warrior alien from Resurrection that I do own. I didn't notice that until now. No, that's perfect. And they are silver, of course. If you look really, really close, they have some black shading in between the teeth. So that's a nice attention to detail. And yeah, it's awesome. Let's actually look under. What's going on under here? Ooh, you got a turkey neck under there, folks. It looks kind of cool, actually. And yeah, the rest of the figure, I mean, it's an AVP design. You know how it is. And like those AVP figures, they do have these kind of over-exaggerated shoulder pads right here. Let's get a better look on that. And it's really cool looking. I dig it. And a nice brown color with with black shading in between all of the muscle groups and everything. Even got some vein, almost looks like veins in there, and the muscle detail is fantastic. You do have, man, I always think these are just like what, octopi, tentacles or something. They're the alien spikes, and they have those creepy suction cups at the bottom, which is, it's just weird to look at. His back is quite armored. Don't think about trying to break the alien's back, because literally he has armor covering his entire spine, and there's more of the spine up there. So no, these things are ready basically to kick ass. And got the rib cage over there, and his stomach is just filled with details all over the place. What's cool, and I mentioned this in prior reviews, is that even if you articulate this all the way back or forward on either side, on you know, wherever, they sculpted it all the way up until the very end. So if you need him to do some crazy, insane poses, it'll still look good, because the mold is still there. It's just hidden by obviously the rib cage and everything. So I thought that was a nice touch that NECA adds. They pretty much do that with most of their figures, at least the aliens. So I always appreciate that. And you got the forearms here. I call this the fin. Let's actually get a better look on that. There it is. If you remember, the aliens from Resurrection were partly, well, it's not like they were biologically aquatic, but they could swim, and they had these creepy fins and everything. All of which has awesome detail, by the way. And got the hand here. Kind of skinny. Nails are painted nicely. And they put a lot of detail in there, considering how small it actually is. You even have some green paint right there. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. And the legs, of course, you got those ball joints, which I'm glad. Actually, are they painted brown? They are. It's probably appearing black on the camera. But no, they are painted black. I'm sorry, painted brown with black shading. Unless the brown is shading, I can't tell. It's kind of hard to tell on this guy. But of course, you got these, I call them the shoulder pads of the thighs, and they're a thick plastic. They're pliable enough so that if you need him to do the splits, or her, she can do them. And the legs just look awesome. Got that creepy inner thigh design, which is just so weird looking. Got the side there, all those coils and tubes. Ugh. The tail, yes, the tail is wonderful. Let's see. Oh, NECA. What's that I see there? What's this? What's that? Don't tell me that is the wire. Oh no, is that the wire? I can't tell if that's the metal wire on the inside or if that's just the paint chipping. Ah, man, it looks like it is the wire. Poke through a little bit. Oh, man. Yeah, maybe the others have that as well. I really have not paid attention. And I've had these figures for a while. I just noticed that. Okay. Well, you know, again, fire the QC guy. You know, get him working for Mattel. And I think the bendy wire ends like right here, and then you got the spike. So, and here, of course, is the biggest difference between these guys and the AVP alien mold, which is these creepy, really creepy legs. I mean, this guy has a lot of flippin' joints in here, some great detail. Let's actually get a closer look. I want to look at the feet, these dinosaur feet, almost. With some nice brown. Nails are painted black, it seems, and they do have peg holes at the bottom. But as I said in the beginning of the review, this one's good with standing. The leg joints, I mean, they're a little bit weak. It's kind of inevitable, as Thanos would say. But this one is definitely the best out of the bunch. And really, what the trick with this guy is just the tail. That's because he can't. Even with these tight joints that I have on him, he'll still topple over. He needs the tail to lean on. He's just too heavy. So, which I can live with. You know, it's NECA, and I guess, you know, not all of it is to blame on them. I just like to trash them a lot. But so it looks really, really good, and I'm happy with it. I know they've been milking it a lot, and again, it's for good reason, because it works. It's, you know, besides the classic designs, obviously from the 79 film or the 86 film, this is kind of like the definitive modern Alien, at least as far as figures go. You can't go wrong with these, even despite their crappy QC problems. But anywho, before I rant anymore, because that's my favorite thing to do on this channel apparently, let's take a look at his articulation. Okay, let's start with the head. So the neck joint, if I'm not mistaken, is on a ball hinge, so obviously he can go forward that much. And let's see how far back it can go. Sweet, yeah. So again, aquatic, right? So when they're swimming, their heads need to be, you know, all the way back, and so this can do it perfectly. I'm glad about that. I need to put the rest of them under hot water. This guy didn't need hot water treatment, but the others, that joint is stuck. And it's on a ball joint as well, so it can pretty much do anything that you need it to do. So obviously the mouth can open that much, and let's see if I can get the inner mouth out without tweezers. Come on. Nah, that's not gonna work. Oh, I did it. Finally. Okay, I'm proud of myself. These shoulders, they're definitely tight, but they can go the full 360, though I really don't recommend it. Go out quite far, actually, and in that much. You have a double jointed elbow, which is just flippin' awesome. And at either joint, it can swivel. Same with the forearm. So you get a lot of range of motion. Oh, I just turned it all upside down. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. There we go. We're back at it. Alright. The hand can swivel, go forward and back, and then the fingers have quite a bit of articulation as well. Now, let's get into the gritty part of the review, the diaphragm joint. Problematic. I won't lie to you. I mean, tight joints, right? And I'm almost afraid to force it, but take my word on it, you work with it for a while, it can go forward quite a lot and back, and obviously side to side and everywhere you need it to go. You just really have to work with it in there. And of course, the legs, ball joints, right? So out and in, you got that cut, and you can rearrange the joints so that, you know, any direction, you can make them do the splits as well, which is pretty cool. The knee is on a double joint, which is sweet, and it can swivel as well. You got this creepy joint right here, which also can swivel and go forward and back. The legs are on a ball joint, so can do everything in a ball joint, and then the foot can go forward and back. And the tail, right? Should I even bother going over that? I mean, I feel like we've seen tails before. It can rotate here, and then the bendy wire is just all over the place. Trust me, it's fine. Besides that stupid wire poking out on mine, but the tail can do everything you need it to do. And that should do it for articulation. I kind of breezed through that one because I've showed this mold a lot. But now I've been using the joints. He's getting looser. Oh boy. Anywho, let us get into size comparison. Now keep in mind he is not fully extended up, but as he stands now, 9 inches, almost 9 inches. Let me show you him her next to the Superman versus Aliens alien right there. And let me grab her. Got the not battle damaged grid alien. And you know, what else do I got here? Okay, well, let's bring Ripley in right here. Got the Resurrection Ripley. And I think that's pretty much it. I really recommend you go check out the review before this with the newborn, because I show the entire Resurrection collection there. But she scales well. She's fine. Obviously, she's a lot bigger than Ripley, and that's fine. I mean, it's movie accurate. The aliens in those movies are big and buff, and these molds are kind of like that. I call them like the bodybuilder molds, in a sense, just because they are jacked completely. It's ridiculous. Anywho, let us continue on. And here he is next to my alpaca. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of the review, and it is time I answer your question. Do you buy this figure? Do you pass on this figure? Or do you wait for a sale? I mean, again, it kind of depends if you like Resurrection, right? That probably applies more to the Ripley review, just because that's kind of a character that's really just not super popular, but this is an alien. I mean, you can buy this and just skip the rest of the Resurrection line, right? You can put this in your Aliens collection from the second movie. Again, it's a generic alien, only it's brown. It can pretty much work for anything, and I do recommend it because it is a good mold. It does have problems with the joints and my whole spiel about that, but at the end of the day, it's a good mold, and it definitely works. And I'm army building them at the moment. I have 7 of them plus 2 McFarlane ones. That's a total of 9, and I think I can stop there. And if you're interested in army building these, and I've said this in past videos, now would be the time to jump on it, just because they're kind of everywhere on the market. Not only are they at stores, but they're online. You can probably get them cheaper than retail, and kind of like the aliens from the second movie, they will go up in value as the days go by. And if you wait too long, army building them won't come so easy. Just heads up. Again, that kind of ties back to the warriors from the second movie, right? They're definitely much harder to get these days than they were when they released. So, there you go. Anywho, go check out the Sanctuary on Facebook, and of course, Trophy Room. If you like Alien Predator stuff like me, and you're obsessed like me, Trophy Room is pretty much the place to be, folks. And as always, have a good morning, evening, midday, whatever, and take care.